Serious, what are the best jobs for people who hate people? Farm worker. I could go for days without talking to anyone. You could go years without using much more than grunts and gestures to the handful of people around you. I have worked with people that just don't talk. I did 3 years with a bloke and got nothing more than grunts and nods till he got drunk one evening and we couldn't shut him up. He still didn't know my name. It had only been 3 years. You know the guy who goes to retail stores after hours and cleans them and buffs the floors? This is very quiet work but also creepy and a lot more physically demanding than one would expect. Truck driver. Most of the job consists of driving alone on the open road listening to music, and hey, if you hate people but love pets, get a dog as a companion. Yet my dad is a truck driver and there is barely any interaction with people besides maybe the loading dock people and the security guard. Pathologist. Look at pieces of tissue under microscopes and find out what's wrong with it. There's obviously a lot more involved than that, but it's known as one of the medical specialties that students can go into when they learn that they hate working with people but are too far in debt to leave med school. Same can apply to vet med students. Some people find out in school that pets come with owners attached. I'd say my job. I'm a bridge operator. I'm here by myself for 12 hours a shift. The only time I see my coworker is when I come in, and even then he's cool and we chat for a few minutes before he leaves. I open the bridge every so often for boats, but even then I sometimes go hours without boats. So I'm in here chillin' playing Xbox or PlayStation, or watching TV most of the time. The only interaction I have with the public is if they call the bridge house concerned about the bridge, which isn't often. There is a swing bridge near me with a little building for the operator, and I have always thought it must be so cool to have that as a job. Boats only go through once every few hours. I would try and build some online businesses websites and see any of them take off. Fire lookout spotter. A dying job but weeks spent completely alone deep in the wilderness. Just have to do check-ins that are a few words and emotionless. In the middle of the forest with nothing that can communicate with you. Unless you stay up for 3 days straight or being on LSD. In that case you can have quite a deep connection with a rock or tree of your choosing. Night audited at a hotel. Even on nights like tonight where we are sold out, I have seen a handful of people since midnight. This is very dependent on the hotel. I've done audit for 2 properties so far. One was super quiet and had almost no work to do. The other is busy and our checklist is huge. I'd like a quiet property with a lot of other work. Best of both worlds. I was a research analyst. I sat in a cubicle by myself all day with zero interaction. Night stock at a grocery store. I can vouch for this, even though I don't hate people. Being in a near empty store with nothing but the freight team was something I never thought I'd enjoy as much as I did. Security guard. More specifically, in my job I don't even wear a uniform. I sit in a secure room watching cameras all evening. Swing shift. The only people here are the uniformed guards and a couple office workers. I watch cameras, review alarms, but mostly I'm on the internet reading about or watching whatever interests me at the moment. I don't even have to interact with anyone if I don't want to other than badging through the door. Pay medical claims. Work from home. One quick conference call a day where I don't have to talk. I don't see or talk to people outside of my immediate family unless I leave my house. Added bonus of working in pajamas every day. I'm a baker and I love it. Early starts working by myself, and I don't deal with any customers directly. And if I'm sick of the other few people in the kitchen, I wear my headphones. In my experience, almost any nighttime or third shift type job is cool. As someone who thoroughly hates people, the jobs I've most enjoyed are the ones in that overnight time slot. The worst night shift job I had was at a factory, and that was because my co-workers sucked. Doggy daycare counselor. 8 hours of 35 dogs and no people. Lots of poop, but no people. I'm a CNC machinist for a large company on night shift. You have to wear earplugs and you run your area by yourself. Great job if you don't want to talk to anyone for 12 hours, and I started at $20 per hour. Data entry. If you can find a job where they allow headphones while you work, even better. I also did some work as a file clerk. Put away folders while listening to music. Not too shabby. Go to sea as a merchant sailor. Sail for months at a time with only about 22 people on board and about 7 in your department. Sure, you're around them all the time during work hours, but afterwards you can avoid them all you want. Then, when you get home, all your family and friends start alienating you because they don't see you very much. Move to a new city where you don't know anyone and voila, you're basically invisible. Except then you get known as that creepy guy on the ship no one really talks to, and unless you know your crap and do it well, you probably won't have a good rapport with your shipmates. A welder. Do your thing day to day with minimal interaction with bosses and customers alike. Just you and your metal. For those into the sciences, I recommend medical laboratory science. You basically work in a lab. Can be automated. Hematology, microbiology, blood bank, reference labs, pharma labs, etc. You occasionally need to call doctors, nurses about critical values, redrawing samples, but no dealing with the general public. As someone who works in this field, I'll lay out a few pros cons. Pros: no dealing with the general public. Lots of opportunity job openings. Pays well. Field diversity. If you don't like automated labs, you may like microbiology, blood bank, etc. Cons: shift work. Hospitals need to run 24 hours a day, but you get paid more for undesirable shifts. Some lab jobs require on-call weeks, work rotating weekends, holidays. Lighthouse keeper. But then there's always someone who'll want to marry you. Medical coder here. I hit the jackpot. I work from home, made my own schedule, never go on site, hardly have to do Skype meetings, 1/no, and my pay is great. 10 out of 10. Security guard, no doubt. I'm studying and doing this on the side. In literally chilling ATM, watching Netflix, browsing Reddit while keeping an eye on this hospital that's gonna get demolished. It's all overgrown, so doing my rounds is actually fun while on the lookout for thieves trying to steal the copper or kids breaking in. 5 hours into my 12-hour shift and I only said goodbye to the colleague that went home. But on the off chance that somebody is trying to steal stuff, you have to deal with people in the worst possible way. Go into forensics. My mom works at hospital. She said all the forensicists pretty much kept to the basement 24/7 doing whatever they do and filling out paperwork. Wildfire lookout tower. Person: I met one who doubled down and was a lighthouse caretaker over the winter. Proofreading. I proofread letters from Medicare and different insurance companies. I don't talk to anyone all day. It's wonderful. Archivist. Warehouse. Still people, but no customers, so less balls. Transcriptionist. You need really good typing skills, speed, accuracy, and it doesn't usually pay super well, but it's a great part-time job. Frequently you can work from home too. I did it for a year part-time and the only person I interacted with was my boss via email. Executioner. Apparently that's a part-time job. Texas peaked at 40 executions in a year in 2000. Coincidentally, the governor was running for president. It was down to 7 last year, and no other state necessarily has any executions every year. Night shift. Night shift. Night shift. I'm a night shift nurse and my don always asks me to work days. There's too many people around during the day for me. Most of my patients sleep most of the night, so I just check on them to make sure they're alive and safe and then wake them up in the morning to give them medicine. Then they go back to sleep. I have one supervisor at night as opposed to a supervisor, a unit manager, don, aiden, administrator, corporate nurse, and about a dozen doctors buzzing around during the day. If you love animals and dogs more than people, a kennel technician at veterinary clinic. I used to be a database programmer for large websites, MySQL, SQL, and PHP integration backend stuff, and the only people I talked to were my boss and 2 other co-workers. Most of the time I was compiling data requests, manually fixing errors, pruning duplicates, etc. My first degree was in computer systems technology with a focus on data management. I work now in Security Operations Center for a Big 10 university. I basically watch network traffic for hacking attempts, virus-infected computers, compromised accounts, and piracy actions. I either resolve problems myself or report directly to my boss. There is no customer interaction really at all. Work from home. Subcontracted programmer. Social media manager. I sit in my cubicle and answer stupid questions all day, but not face to face or over the phone. I listen to music all day and write cheesy tweets, then go home. Lunchtime is really the only time I deal with face to face interactions. Disabled vet. Sit home for years on end. Stay home about 4k a month tax free. Smoke weed. Video games. Jack off a lot. Someone please put me out of my misery. Undertaker. Deal mostly with dead people. They don't talk back and don't wear plaid. Striping parking lots. Best freaking job I ever had. Pavers usually already had my lines measured and chalked, so all I had to do was fire up the paint mower, insert earbuds and spray the day away. Bonus was being permitted to wear a bikini top for certain jobs. No pesky humans complicating my work. Zeppelin in my ears and an epic tan. You're doing the Lord's work. Nothing better than a freshly striped lot. Security guard. Even better if you are on the night shift. Greetings from a graveyard shift security guard. I don't see a single living thing for 8 hours. It's great. Mortician. On the low end of the pay scale. Security guard. Now this depends on your post, but there are a ton of graveyard shift posts where there's minimal interaction with the public. You might have someone ask you for something once or twice in a shift, but there will be many nights where only person you'll deal with is the guard who relieves you in the morning. On the high end of the pay scale. Statistician. You sit and crunch numbers all day. If you go into government work, it's likely you can work from home. Obviously this isn't for people who are bad at math. Calculus is only the beginning of a statistician's math education, but if math is your thing and you hate people, it's a dream job. You have been visited by the beautiful Squidward. Comment beautiful as Squidward so that your beauty excels that of others. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.